Hi, Year 3. How are you today? Welcome to your English lesson today. So before we begin, we've got a little bit of a retrieval here. So this is on your worksheet. So what I'd like you to do is answer these 4 questions. Okay. Check out and think about all the things that we've learned over the last couple of weeks, and that will help you today. So the first one is I want you to underline the main clause and the subordinating clause and circle the coordinating conjunction in the sentence below. Then I want you to tell me what's wrong with this sentence below. Then I want you to rearrange the below sentence so the subordinating clause is after the main clause. And then I want you to underline the fronted adverbial in the below sentence. I'm really sorry, I'm just going to go back to number 1 again. It isn't a coordinating conjunction, it's a subordinating conjunction. So sorry, I changed it on the other slide, but not that one. So can you answer those questions for me now? They're on your worksheet. Pause the video, do that now for me. Okay, welcome back. Have you got your pencil to mark? Mine is a butterfly pencil today. So let's go on then. Right, here we go. So the first part, it'd be when is, and I forgot to circle that, I'm very sorry. When is our subordinating conjunction? And our main clause is you can go out to play. And our subordinating clause is you have finished doing your chores. Okay, did you get those? Brilliant. And then the next one, what's wrong with this sentence below? We had but, and that didn't make sense, did it? I love ice cream and it's nice is much better. Okay, so that's the correct conjunction there. So we had to rearrange this sentence below to make the subordinating clause after the main clause. So we had, you can stay up until 10 p.m. because it's your birthday. And then the last one, underlining the fronted adverbial in the sentence below, well, it was slowly and carefully, wasn't it? Brilliant. Well done if you got those. So our learning objective today is using a range of fronted adverbials for cohesion. We're going to continue from what we were doing last week. Okay, I think it was last Friday, wasn't it? So to be successful at this, you're going to know that some fronted adverbials are words, phrases or clauses that come before the main clause in a sentence. You know that the fronted adverbials modify the verb or the main clause by describing the time, frequency, manner, place or possibility. You must use a comma after the fronted adverbial, and you can write your own fronted adverbials using the ED words, similes and conjunctions, and that is what we're going to be looking at today. So we're going to have a quick think again. What is an adverbial? Okay, so an adverbial is a word, phrase or clause that's used like an adverb to modify the verb or the clause. Adverbs can be used as adverbials, but also many other types of words, phrases and clauses can be used in this way, including prepositional phrases and subordinating clauses. So what's a fronted adverbial? Can you remember that? Pause the video, see if you can recall that from last week. Okay, let's see if you can remember. So it's when an adverbial is used at the beginning of the sentence. Did you get that? Brilliant. And they're often called fronted adverbials. I'm really pleased that you got that. Well done. So do you remember we looked at this last week? And last week, I'm just going to move my camera just slightly, we had a look at the ing words, the preposition and the adverbs. We looked at I, P and A last week. Well, this week we're going to look at the other 3. The S, which stands for the simile. So like the chocolates in the box, she vanished quickly. For the C, which is a conjunction, which you are super duper at now. So when he found his bone, the dog settled at the bottom of the stairs. And the conjunction there is when. Okay, it goes with the subordinating clause there. And then the ED endings, okay, pleased with what he had done, he stood back and admired his work. The ED endings are past participle verbs, okay? So let's move on and let's find out about them today. All right then. So the S for simile, okay? So similes make brilliant fronted adverbials as they help to compare one thing with another, creating a vivid image in the reader's imagination. So similes describe something by comparing it to something else. So like using like or as. So we would describe something is like something else or it is as something else, if that makes sense. But we're going to go through a couple in a little bit. So like the I, the ing ending, the adverb and the A and the P preposition adverbials, we still follow our simile fronted adverbial with a comma every single time. Really important to remember that. So, for example, here we go. As fast as lightning, Percy raced across the finish line. Now, the reason why we have as fast as lightning is because lightning is really super fast, isn't it? It's like a bolt. It's super quick, goes and comes and goes away really quickly. Well, there they're describing the runner as if he zooms past the finish line and he goes quickly. You can't see him. It's that quick. It's like a flash, in and out. Okay, and that's why they're describing Percy like lightning, because he is that super fast. All right. So imagine like Usain Bolt. He's quick as a flash, fast as a flash past that finishing line. Now, like a green ribbon in the wind, the snake slithered slowly. Now, imagine a green ribbon. Imagine, the green ribbon that we have that we tie around our cup, our house point cup at school. And imagine if you were holding that green ribbon and it was fluttering in the wind. And that is how the snake is moving, as if it's fluttering in the wind like that. And that's why they're describing the snake like a fluttering ribbon, okay? Like a green ribbon in the wind, so it's fluttering in the wind, the snake slithered slowly. As graceful as a ballerina, Mrs. Hand placed the heavy box on top of the shelf. Okay, meant to say box, not boy. I'm so sorry. Okay, so really it's as if I was picking up the box as if it was super light, because a ballerina is really graceful when they're moving. They don't move really grumpily and heavily like this, do they? They move really lightly. So as I lifted it up, it's as if it was as light as a feather. Okay. So here, like a panther hunting its prey, Miss Finch crept up on the misbehaving children. So like when a cat is slowly moving and they go down and their shoulders come up like this and they start to really quietly move along. That's what they describe Mrs. Finch is like. She's not moving down the corridor there like this. She's moving really quietly and slowly, as if she's about to pounce onto the children. She won't really do that, but if a cat was going to its prey, it would pounce onto its prey. And that's how they're describing her, how she's moving very quietly, very slowly, as if she's like floating along like that. Do you understand that? Can you see those pictures in your mind when I talk about that? Because that will really help you. Now let's try a few together. So I'd like you to have a go. This is on your worksheet. Now you might not get the same as mine, and that's okay. But we're going to have a go at completing these two sentences. So pause the video here, and I want you to have a go at thinking of a simile. How could you describe the girl who won the race? And how could you describe like a monkey? So somebody who's like a monkey, what are they doing that's like a monkey? Okay, so pause the video, have a go at completing these now. Okay, welcome back. So should we go through the ones that I did? We might have the same, but I want to see if we've got the same idea. So here we go. As fast as lightning, the girl won the race. Do you remember, like I said earlier, it's that quick. You don't even see it. It's super speedy. It's like a flash. She was that quick. She won the race. And I've put here, like a monkey, he climbed the tree. You know how like monkeys like to climb up the tree like this? And that's how he climbed up the tree, the little boy. Okay. Did you get something similar? Did you understand how that worked? Brilliant. Now, conjunctions. You have been amazing at conjunctions recently. You have looked at two different types of conjunctions and you have really smashed it. So well done for that. So this should be quite easy for you. So a conjunction is a word or words that connect the two clauses together. And we've talked a lot about that, haven't we? Connecting those two clauses together. Now, a subordinating clause is part of a sentence that adds the additional information to the main clause. But a subordinating conjunction is simply the word or words that's used to join it together. So, do you remember as well, we talked about you can move them around as well. So with these ones here, if the weather is nice, we can go to the park. We can go to the park if the weather is nice. Do you remember that before? Okay. And I wonder as well, can you remember what that acronym was before I continue? It was I saw, what was the last bit? I saw a wabub. That's right. I saw a wabub. So if you can't remember what those are, go back through your sheets that you've had already and find that, because I put that onto one of your sheets. And if you're not sure, write it down on your sheet from today. So when he pressed the button, the elevator sprung into action. So all of these are subordinating conjunctions and subordinating clauses. We can swap them over, okay? Because it was the middle of summer, the temperatures were excruciatingly hot. Whenever we had the chance, he would go to the cinema. Once the archaeologist reached the top of the stairs, he turned round to see the tiny camel below. Okay. Now I'd like you to try a few here. When you are older, what would you put here? Then what would you put at the beginning here? So remember thinking about your subordinating clauses and your conjunction. What conjunction would you use at the second one? Because remember, you've got the comma there, and the first one is already done for you. The third one is done for you as well. So I'd like you to complete these sentences now. Pause the video. Have a go at that now. Okay, welcome back. Should we move on? Let's see. We won't have the same, but hopefully we've got the same kind of idea. That's the main thing. I put, when you are older, you can have an iPad. You can have an iPad when you are older. After you've washed up, you can go out to play. You can go out to play after you have washed up. As he got closer, he knew he could see the finish line. He knew he could see the finish line as he got closer. Do you see there what we did? Brilliant. Did you get something similar? Fantastic. Okay, so the last one now is the ED endings. Okay, so this is with using the past participles, the verbs ending in ED, to create fronted adverbials. So exhausted, the dog fell asleep in its basket. Embarrassed by what he had done, Johnny's face went red. Interested in what he had found, the man took a closer look. Surprised and frightened, she took a step closer to the UFO. Now, you ready? I have put here a word bank to help you. So I'd like you to think about now. I've given you the first one with disappointed by his gift. I need to finish that sentence. But the next two, I want you to think of your past participle verbs here, ED ending. So you can pick one of these words. I'm pointing to the screen. I realise you can't see me. I'll point with my thing. So here, you can pick one of these words here to put at the beginning. But remember, it needs to have the ED ending. Okay? The ED ending is crucial. So pause the video here. Have a go at answering that now. Okay, welcome back. Should we see if we've got something similar along the same lines? Disappointed by his gift, she began to cry. Shocked, the boy looked at what he had found. Terrified, Lucy entered the haunted house. Did you get something similar? Did you have a little look at these word banks here? Fantastic. Okay, so today you're going to use similes, conjunctions, and past participles, so ED verbs, to create fronted adverbials for a scene in the Egyptian pyramids. So you're not going to write about it all, you're just going to write about one particular part. So it could be the part where, for example, he finds the cartouche in the sand and he brings it up and looks at it, and you're just going to write a short paragraph about that. It could be the point where the camel is sitting there and watches the pyramid rise out from the ground. You can choose what you'd like your scene to be about. It doesn't need to be about the whole film, just one part that you're going to choose. All right. But here, I'm going to give you a paragraph from a short adventure story set in the jungle. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to find the adverbials that have been used, okay? And then I want you to underline purple for ED endings, blue for conjunctions, and orange for similes, okay? So pause the video here. Have a go at answering that now.